Hi, it's Ava, and this is my project on social conformity. So, according to the textbook, social conformity is changing one's behavior due to the real or imagined influence of others. So, in many situations, we as individuals don't feel necessarily knowledgeable enough about how to think or act. For example, which way do I cut my steak, or how many pieces of sushi do I order? But getting a group's perspective can help us redefine the situation and get a better idea of what is the right thing to do. So if everyone's doing something, it's normal, maybe I should be doing it too. But if I'm the only one, maybe that's wrong. So it's a theory that people have the desire so much to fit in a group scenario that they will either doubt their own thoughts or even change them and yield to the majority's point of view. So there's a couple different types or reasons why we conform in social situations. The first is compliance, which is the desire to fit in and be normal and be liked or be accepted in a group situation. Another would be to be correct factually or informationally, to have the right answer, or even to conform to a certain social role, like gender roles in society, or what's the right way to walk down the street, etc. In some cases, conformity can even affect people's ability to make safe decisions, like if all my friends are drinking and smoking, should I be drinking and smoking? So the most famous experiment to prove social conformity was done by a man named Solomon Asch, and he did the famous Asch's line test experiment, where he took a bunch of students and put participants in a room in a line, and 6 out of 7 of them had already had an answer. They were told what they should say, basically. They were actors. And the last person was kind of like the test rat. So they were showed a series of lines, A, B, and C, and they were different lengths. And then they were asked to compare those 3 lines to another target line. And they were asked which line, A, B, or C, is closest to the target line. And it was always really, really obvious. And the experiment person always said the answer last, and everyone would always say it out loud. So on the last trial, the actors were told to say the wrong answer, even though it was very obviously wrong. And 75% of the time, the last person would actually say the wrong answer, even though it was very obviously wrong, because the rest of the group said the wrong answer. So overwhelming majority did conform to the group's perspective. But I've decided to do an experiment that is a little bit different. It's similar to a man named Janes, who was the first psychologist to study conformity. And he did an experiment where he had a bottle with beans in it, and he asked a group of people individually to guess or estimate how many beans are in the bottle. And then he asked them as a group, and then again individually, to see if after they had made a group decision, if their individual answers would change to be closer to the group's point of view. And almost every single time they did change and they conformed. So I'm going to be doing something similar with some friends. I have a jar here of chocolate chips. They're dark chocolate, they're the best ones from the Shook, and there are 875 chocolate chips in this jar. And yes, I know that because I just counted each and every one of them. So I'm going to do a little experiment on some of my friends and ask them individually to guess how many are in here, and then to make a group decision, and then again individually, and see if they conform to the group's point of view. So I will see you when we're doing the experiment. So my first participant is Jamie. Okay, I would like you to tell me how many chocolate chips you think are in this jar.
Probably like 670.
Okay, good guess.
500.
That's your final answer?
That's my final answer.
500 even, alright.
350.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with 325.
Okay, so part 2 of this experiment is I'm gonna give you guys a minute to decide as a group. You can have the jar. I need one final group answer. How many are in there? You guys can discuss.
Let's say 400.
400?
Let's go with 400.
Final answer?
400.
400. Okay, great. Again, each of you individually to give me one more answer.
666. 375.
Okay. Elliot and Zach.
600.
600. So you're doing more than the group's answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
360.
360? Okay. Thank you guys. Oh, okay, so there's actually 875.
I knew it was a high number. I fucking knew it. So I was the closest.
But I would just like to let you all know that 3 out of 4 of you, not Ellie, were influenced by social conformity, which is changing your answer based on the group's answer. And now Jamie's
they're
the Hi. Okay, so as you saw in those videos, Danya, Jamie, and Zach were all influenced by social conformity because they changed their answers to be closer to the group answer of 400, which makes sense because in the other clinical trials, 75% of people do conform, which is exactly what we came up with. And even if it wasn't completely accurate or they were definitely influenced by other things, it's still super interesting that based on everyone else's answers, people trust that a lot more than their own thoughts, and social conformity comes in all aspects of life, and even in small scenarios like this one, and in things we do every single day, all day long. So thanks for watching.